Goldwire Lane in Monmouth has been a thoroughfare for centuries for donkeys, mules, pedestrians, carts and motor vehicles. In 1700 it was known as Goldsmith's Lane after the family who lived there. In 1854 it was the home of Sergeant Joseph Godfrey, who famously fought in the Crimean War. But 106 years later, a new group of residents are fighting to preserve Goldwire Lane from Monmouthshire County Council interference. Residents have used the lane as a route for decades with no specific issues. In October 2024, Monmouthshire County Council want to stop vehicles from using it as a thoroughfare, with the exception of those residents who live in the lane. This decision will impact residents who would normally use this lane. Indeed, closing it to vehicles will mean that residents then only have one exit route onto the Wannistow Road. In the event of that becoming blocked for some reason, then the residents will be unable to leave the area by motor vehicle. The current exit route onto Wannistow Road suffers from marked congestion due to the replacement of the previous mini roundabout with a new T-junction. I met and talked to the residents of Goldwire Lane and the area around it, and they made a firm case for keeping Goldwire Lane as a regular vehicular route.
Hello, my name's Justine Johnson. I live on Goldwire Lane, and it became apparent to us more recently that the council intended to restrict access to Goldwire Lane. When I watched the council meeting on the 17th of April and I saw Catherine Maybe make a sweeping statement about wanting to restrict access to vehicle users. They said that they felt that it was unsafe for some pedestrians, particularly those who were elderly, and that they'd had a meeting at T Price about it. We do know that the road is uneven, and we do know that the pavement needs sorting out, but we believe it's a very well used lane and we think it needs to be kept open, and we believe that it can be a shared safe space. So that's what we're asking the council for, is a shared safe space. One of my big concerns is if, now that they've changed the configuration down on the Wannistow Road and we don't have priority there, that if there is any congestion, which means that we can't get out of here because we can't access Goldwire Lane, then our travel is going to be impeded. Now, this is a rural community that uses its cars to get to work, for caring for people. Really, it's not applicable to close another road off. All roads are dangerous, but we have to drive with due care and attention. So what we can do is restrict the speed at which people travel. So my argument is, let's not close the road, let's make it a shared safe space, and then everybody is happy. This active travel plan that's come into being, and we've seen it out on the Wannistow Road with shared pedestrian and cycle lane and the new junction, in my opinion, doesn't work. We should have kept our mini roundabout, we should have kept the flow, but no, we've got a junction in place with a pedestrian crossing just in front of it on the Rockfield Road. We've got at the junction, we've got dropped curbed for people to walk across the road in the most dangerous way. And all this is happening at the end of a road that we lead into and can have an impact for us if that lane is closed. So I would urge Monmouthshire County Council, please, to not restrict access, particularly as you say that ambulances, emergency services will be able to go down that road. What happens, and we know the NHS is broken, that somebody is waiting hours and hours for an ambulance that doesn't come. What are we going to do? We're going to have to put that person in a car and take them But we're not allowed down Goldwire Lane. That road is potentially blocked. So we will be forced to help this person to try out and get out at the Albion. How dangerous is that? This has to stop. We have to encourage the County Council to think again. And when Carl Tuig at the council turns around and says that he doesn't think the 105 people that signed our petition understand the benefits to pedestrians, I do. I see people walking through from the new estate occasionally, and Troy Way, Elster Way. They enjoy walking down Goldwire Lane. But it seems at the cost of the vehicle user. Being a vehicle user seems to be a bad phrase, a bad word. In the temporary traffic order, when it says the reasons why they want to close the lane, they mention a rat run. Now that terminology to me is derogatory. It would have been far better to use shortcut, but for some reason they choose to use rat run. So, are we road rats? I ask you. Please think again, Monmouthshire County Council. Please.
Good morning everyone. Just a quick introduction. My name is Martin Newell. Everyone in this town knows me as Tojo probably. I grew up in Kingsfee, which is just around the corner from Goldwire Lane, and spent my youth playing sport for Monmouth, cricket, football. Tried rugby, was no good at rugby, but I've also got my business down this end of town as well. So I'm a frequent user of the roads in this area, and I've walked down Goldwire Lane all of my life. And I have to say that I do agree 100% with all of Justine's comments as a local person in this area. And I've also spoken to lots of residents and my friend who owns the shop just around the corner here. He's worried about his business if the cars just won't travel up this way if that road's closed. So that's a big concern. I do see the need for the road to be reconfigured, and the words that Justin uses, shared space, I think is spot on. The paths are not fit for purpose as they are anymore, and the road needs altering. So as a town councillor I can make representations, but I am standing for county council, and as a county councillor I will have a vote, and I will have a vote that means that I have a proper say in about what happens on Goldwire Lane, and my vote will go to sharing Justine's views that Goldwire Lane needs to remain open for vehicles and for pedestrians, and it needs to become a shared space. And ideally I would like to see the road flattened so there is no path, and find a way that with the use of white lines down the side, there'll be room there for cars and for pedestrians to use safely. The other thing as well is that we've got to find a way to stop bikes from going the wrong way. That is causing a huge problem and a lot of concerns as well. But just to reassure the residents of Cloudy, Goldwire Lane, Kingsfee, Wannerstow and the bottom end of town on Drybridge Street, it is my view that Goldwire Lane has to stay open. For me it's not even up for debate, and as a county councillor, if I could get your vote on the 24th of October, I can guarantee you that I would be supporting this campaign 100%. But I won't do anything without meeting all the amazing residents and friends I have in this area. And those who know me know that I'm usually pretty good for my word. I'm trusted in the area, but you have my word. I will completely back this campaign, and let's see what we can do. Thanks again.
My name's Louise Martin. I'm actually a fairly new resident to Monmouth. We've only been here 2 years. We actually moved from south of England along with my mother, who actually lives in Goldwire Lane in Homeforge House. Very happy here, love the town, but obviously have a few concerns about how some things have been planned. Obviously my mum is in her 80s. She finds it so easy to walk into town, go to Waitrose, do everything she needs to do. But obviously she has to walk down Goldwire. Now of course you might say, well, that's one reason for actually closing Goldwire. But it's not as simple as that. the problem is, exactly as has been already addressed by my colleagues, is the fact that there are vehicles that need to come in and out of Goldwire and Somerset, and the access just isn't there. Many a time when I actually walk down Somerset, and although there are yellow lines down there, there are parked cars the other side. So many larger vehicles have no hope in sort of like weaving their way through. It's just dangerous. So, you know, I've spoken to my mum about this, and actually she agrees with the fact that Goldwire shouldn't be pedestrianised. It just needs to be laid out safely so pedestrians are separate from vehicles. But also, and my pet hate about Monmouth, is local cyclists. And local cyclists need to be stopped going the wrong way down a one-way street. So I urge Monmouth County Council to rethink what it plans for Goldwire Lane. Thank you.